good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Massena Arena for this afternoon's Northern Athletic Conference high school hockey game between the Massena Red Raiders and the Lake Placid Blue Bombers. I'm Jerry Manor. Alongside me, Dave McLennan, as we get ready for the start of this afternoon's hockey game. The Blue Bombers have been introduced. The Massena Red Raiders are being introduced right now, and we'll be ready to start in just a moment. Sure glad to have you along for the broadcast this evening, and we hope that your Christmas holiday was a good one. Sure nice to be back in the friendly confines of the Massena Arena.
Yes, it is, Jerry. You and I both are in agreement. This is probably one of the finest spots in all of northern New York to broadcast a game from. Our vantage spot is high over center ice, and it's a beautiful facility here. And it is nice to be back after our trip downstate down to Albany Academy last week. And I think this game today, the first one back, the Raiders haven't played in a week. This is just what the doctor ordered. A young Lake Placid club coming in here. They're a good skating club, very fast, but small in stature and small in numbers. They only have 14 youngsters dressed today, but we'll dwell on that.
In the history of high school hockey in this area, and that was always a big rivalry game. It has not been that way in the past few years. Lake Placid is, first dropped down to Division II. Now they're down to Division III this year, but they've got a decent club coming in here this afternoon.
Yes, the old-time and not-so-old-time hockey fans remember the teams, the Lake Placid Massena Central matchups, the Lake Placid Holy Family matchups, and they were the premier team in the it wasn't the NAC then, it was just the Northern Conference. The numbers have dropped, the quality of play has dropped, but Coach Cal Lewis, who is in his third season at Lake Placid, is very optimistic about this club. He knows he doesn't have the depth. He's only going to go with two lines, basically, and spot, saying only dressing 14 youngsters is kind of tough, and it probably Massena will wear them down. They're not big, and they're young. A lot of sophomores. I think the makeup is 7 juniors, 3 sophomores, a freshman, and just 3 seniors on this team, Jerry. But maybe next year they'll be heard from.
Boy, I guess so. Jeremy Colby will be the starting center. He'll face off against Jake Morris. Colby, Blinn, and Strack, and we're underway as the puck comes to Levac at the Massena blue line off the face, and he flips it up off a stick into the Massena bench, and we'll face it off again. So we've managed to play 5 seconds.
And the Raiders are making a line change, and we're going to see what this combination, do I see number 23 out there?
Yeah, you do.
Now? Okay, I was informed that he possibly wasn't going to play, but Jason Jackson is going to play.
So Jackson will be out there along with McCracken on one wing and Eddie Davis on the other wing. Here's Labarge. Headman pass goes to McCracken. Scotty takes it to Jackson. Offsides. And that was just barely offsides, but it was. The whistle blows, and the faceoff will come as Massena moving in. But they got caught. I think perhaps it was Davis on the left wing offside.
Just barely offside. Nice pass from Scotty McCracken to Jason Jackson. They hit the blue line 3 abreast.
Again, Colby will face off against Jackson just outside Lake Placid territory. Comes to Labarge, over to Levac at the red line. Steps across the red line, dumps it in the Placid zone. Bounces in front of the net, goes to the defenseman Martin, trying to flip it out along the boards. It comes to Jackson. His shot, fires it wide in behind the net. Eddie Davis pokes it by the defenseman, goes after it. It comes free to McCracken. Here's Scotty stepping around behind the net, right side of the goalie. He's going to go back to the point. Levac, little problem keeping it in, but he does. Here's Jackson circling to the blue line. Dumps it over on the other side, but Placid's going to clear it out to center ice. Jackson right there to knock it in the zone, but Lake Placid controls as Manning moves it into the Massena zone. Taken away by Jason Labarge, and Labarge starts out to Levac. Levac, headman pass is knocked down. Here's an opportunity for Mike Strack. He gets by Levac, slides it right across the goal mouth, but nobody home for Lake Placid. It comes to McCracken, who flips it around the boards, and Levac will pick up the loose puck and start it out of there. Here's Levac's headman on the wing, intercepted there by Ryan Benty, and Benty flips it right back in the Massena zone. Jason Labarge in behind the net. He gets tied up. Here's a chance, the wraparound attempt for Lake Placid, but it's knocked down in front by Levac. He flips it ahead. McCracken dumps it to the Lake Placid line as Massena wants a line change. Here comes Ryan Benty. His shot from center ice. Dougie Cullen makes the save, sweeps it into the corner. Coming back for it is Cameron. Cameron flipping it out to the blue line, but not out of the zone. It's dumped right back in the corner. Now after it there is Aaron Barkley and Tommy Post. Post comes away with it left side. Tommy skates it across the blue line, across the red line, flipping it ahead for Morris. Goes off a leg in the corner. Cameron racing in after it. In behind the Lake Placid net. Here's Cameron, back to Post at the point, back to Cameron at the 45. Headman right across the goal crease, but it's knocked away there, and back out to center ice. Sparky Belageron Bergeron flips it on the backhand all the way down the ice, and icing will be called against the Blue Bombers, and the faceoff will come back in Lake Placid zone.
Again, I know when Tommy Post goes to the bench, Coach Stan Moore is going to say to him, come on, Tommy, we got those wings busting up there on that weak side. You're coming out, you're carrying the puck out of your end. Hit him with that pass. Hit him because what you're doing is slowing down. Tommy carried the puck into the neutral zone and slowed everything down and basically, just stopped the whole offensive movement. You've got to move that puck. That wing was breaking on that weak side.
I'm going to see now with their third line now. Joey Fauché centering Bobby Whitcup and Tommy Moore. Face off right side in Lake Placid territory. Off the draw. Puck controlled on the defense by Chad Martin. Martin has it poked away by Fauché. Gets it back and flips it off the boards to center ice. Fauché is there. Get a stick on it. Dumped away from him into the Massena zone. Barkley throws a check. The puck comes free. Squirts right in front. And Tommy Post picks it up. His headman knocked down. Here's a weak shot and the save made by goaltender Dougie Cullen. In behind the net now. The Raiders' Fauché trying to move it. Out to center ice it comes off Whitcup's stick. Lake Placid touches. Here comes Whitcup. Here's Whitcup breaking in right side. Stops, slides it front to Moore, and he is hauled down. There's going to be a penalty on Lake Placid. And Massena will go on the power play as a nice pass there by Whitcup to Tommy Moore breaking in on the left side. And Moore was hauled down by the defenseman, and Massena will go on the power play.
Oh, an excellent job by Jeremy Colby, though. He's going to take the penalty, and I'm not sure if the Raider forward didn't lull him into that. Jeremy did a great job back-checking. Would have created a 2-on-1 for Massena, but he picked up the loose Massena man, took him right back to the net, and he would have been wide open. That goes in the category of a good penalty, and I think maybe the Massena forward has smartly hooked his arm around him and dragged him down, and the official had to call a penalty.
So it'll be Morris out there along with Cameron and Bigelow up front on the power play. And Labarge and Post will be at the points. Bergeron out to take the face-off. It comes back to Labarge at the point in the 45 Cameron. Right side of the goalie, back to Labarge. Labarge left point now. Cross ice, it goes to Post at the right point. Tommy flips it into Jake Morris. Back to Post. Back to Morris at the 45. Back to Post. Massena moving the puck. Here's the shot. Deflected off Bigelow's body, and he comes up with a puck in the corner, left side of the goalie. To Morris at the 45. Back to the point, Tommy Post. Post to Morris. Jake steps into the circle, right in the high slot. The shot, the save. Bouncing rebound. It comes in front, and they jam at it, and the goaltender makes another good save. That spots. And the puck comes free to Cameron. Back to Post at the point. Back to Cameron. 45. Into Jake Morris. In behind the net. Morris steps out. Looking to pass. 45 seconds left in the power play. He goes to Cameron. Chris back to Post. Post shot. Goes off a leg. It comes to Bigelow in the corner right side. Back to the point. Knocked down. And the puck is out to center ice. So Massena has to regroup. They've moved it around the peripheral, but not too many good shots yet. Here comes Bigelow. Breaking in the zone. In the corner now. Stops, looking to set up the power play to Morris at the 45. Back to Bigelow. Bigelow to Morris. 18 seconds left in the power play. To Post, fakes the shot, goes to Labarge. Labarge left point. Across ice pass. Morris, his shot, and the save made. And the puck comes free behind for Preston. He flips it, but not out. 6 seconds left. Goes to Post. Post steps by a check, and he goes to Morris. The penalty is up, and it comes free to Bigelow in the corner. Bigelow looking to move it across the goal mouth, but it's knocked away from him, and back out to center ice comes Bergeron. Stick handling it, trying to get by, but Labarge takes him out of the play, and the puck sits next to Labarge in the corner. They jam at it, bouncing puck in the slot, and it comes to Cullen. He's going to have to cover it up.
Good job on that power play by the Lake Placid Bombers. They played a passive box. They contained pretty much in front. They're not too big, but they did a good job of vacating that area in front of Stuart Spots. And he's one of the keys, young Mr. Spots, of this club, along with their good skating ability. Coach Cal Lewis counts heavily on Stuart Spots, who's just a junior.
We've got Colby's line coming out. Jeremy Colby, Mike Strack, and Chad Blinn. And it'll be the Jason Jackson line for Massena off the faceoff. Back to the point. It slides by everybody out to center ice. Back for it is Chad Martin at his own blue line for Lake Placid. He dumps it to center ice. Takes a funny bounce, but it comes to Colby. Here's Colby dumping it in the Massena zone. Around the boards it comes. After it is Aaron Barkley. He throws the check, and Jackson picks up the loose puck. Circling behind his own net, flips it over on the other side, and Massena moves it out to center ice. Gets by everybody. Chad Martin flipping it to the Massena line. Right there is Levac. Levac headman pass. Meant for, I'm not sure who it was meant for, Davis, I guess, but it's intercepted by Colby, and he flips it back in the Massena zone. After it there is Levac. Ryan with a puck now, in behind the net, starts out left side, hitting Davis on the wing. Eddie circles, being forechecked, steps back, flips to McCracken, gets by him, to the Lake Placid line. Picked up there by Tim Manning. Manning over to Martin. Martin flips to the blue line of Massena. Jackson back to pick it up for the Raiders. Here comes Jackson circling, building up a head of steam, takes it across. Jason Jackson steps by the defense, takes it in the corner, looking to center, goes off a leg in behind the net. Scotty McCracken after it in the corner. McCracken looking to feed it in behind. Jackson picks up the puck. Here's Jason with a puck in the face-off circle, left side of the goalie, has it poked away, gets it back again behind the net. Trying to feed it to Davis, goes off a leg, and the puck picked up by Matt Colby. Colby now circling behind his own net. McCracken bothering him. He flips it around the boards. It's going to come free to Levac. He winds up his drive, goes off a leg, and bounces over on the other side, left side. Backhander by Lake Placid. They don't clear as Barkley keeps it in. He jams for it with a couple of Lake Placid skaters along the boards, and the puck squirts free, and it's out to center ice off the stick of Belageron. Here's his shot from center ice, and Dougie Cullen makes the save and covers up for the face-off.
You'll see that the Bombers are skating two lines, the Colby line and the Belageron line, and this is going to, it's going to tell on them later on in the period. They need to have that third unit. But another thing, the Bomber defense are giving up that offensive zone awful easy. They're allowing the Raiders to gain the zone, and once they do, they retain possession or creating some problems. They have to stay up on that line, especially if you've got the wings back checking, which they had on 2 or 3 occasions. The Bomber defense are giving up the line awful easily.
The Jake Morris unit comes back out from Massena. Morris out there with Bigelow and Cameron. He'll face off against Belageron in the Massena zone, right side of Cullen. Off the face, puck in behind the net. They try to jam at its side, and it comes free to Cameron. Chris starts out to Bigelow. Bigelow, head man, right on Morris' stick, but it bounced over it, and it's dumped back to the Massena line. Jake after it there, along with Bigelow, and Cameron, rather. And Cameron comes away with it. Chris Cameron, and we have a whistle behind the play, and there's going to be a charging call on Massena.
He's calling, I believe it's Aaron Barkley. I'm trying to pick up the number. I think Aaron, Tommy Post. Tommy's going to get a charging call. One thing about this line of Bigelow, Morris, and Chris Cameron, they move that puck really well. The coaches like to see that. It's tic-tac-toe. You want to move that puck before the defense has time to get in position, and you get each other breaking, and that continuity.
Massena out to try to kill the penalty. Labarge is out there along with Levac, Morris, and Bigelow, and the puck dumped down in Lake Placid territory. Lake Placid has Belageron out there along with Colby, and I think Blinn is the other forward. We'll pick him up in a moment as the puck comes out to center ice. Here's Belageron after it, flips into the Massena zone, picked up there by Levac. He just backhands it right back down the ice. Racing back after it is Preston. Preston out there with Benty at the points for Lake Placid power play. A minute left in the power play. 7:58 in the period. On the Peach Jewelers scoreboard, it's still 0-0. No score yet. The puck bouncing in the Massena zone now off a stick. It comes to Brian Levac. Levac steps by a check, looks, finds the hole, and dumps it out to center ice. Stopped by Brad Preston. Preston just flips it ahead, goes to the Massena line, right back out again. Comes free. Belageron. He tomahawks it into the zone. And it comes to Levac again, who whacks at it to Bigelow, and Bigelow dumps it out to center ice. He got Caruso, the referee, with that one. Now the puck back in the zone. Levac again. This time he fakes firing it down the ice, and now he does all the way down the ice. 20 seconds left in the power play, and we got the 7-11 combination coming out now to kill in Scotty McCracken and Jeff Fauché. Fauché in, forechecking right in front of the net. It's Brad Preston with it. 9 seconds left in the power play. Preston flips it up to Colby. Colby out to Belageron. Here's Sparky across the blue line. We have an offsides called as Matt Colby cut across too soon on the right side.
Also, notice in the last couple games, Dougie kind of sitting back in that crease when he sees that shooter lower that head, and that's a telltale sign that he's going to drift that long shot. Maybe should step out a little bit to reduce the size of that net. And I'm glad to see that Dougie has recovered from his, I don't know if it was a slight concussion that occurred down in the Albany Academy. It was in the pregame warm-up prior to that championship game. He took one right in the head, and I'm surprised that he stayed as long as he did in that game.
Off the face-off. The puck dumped in the Massena zone. Levac is there. He backhands it, has it poked away. It comes free. And into the corner it goes. Levac after again. There's Fauché. Penalty is up, and Joey controls the puck. His pass goes out to the center ice, right back in the zone. Levac again. Levac drops to Labarge. Jason looks for the long head man, but it's intercepted there by Tim Manning. Manning flips it across the Massena line. A little bit of contact there. The puck squirts free. Here's an opportunity for Blinn. His shot, and Cullen makes the save and holds on.
Oh, boy, there was some good contact. Tommy Moore really took Tim Manning for a ride. He hit him right at the blue line. Good, clean check, and young Tim Manning, I'm sure, felt that one is going to continue to feel it. The longer this game, we've got 6:26 left in that first period, and this is what the Bombers want to hope for. Looks like we got double minors here coming up.
Colby and Fauché go off, matching minors.
As long as this game remains close, and that works in the favor of the Bombers, because the clubs like this, the longer you let them stay up, keep them off the hook, they're going to get a little more confidence, even though with the two lines, I think they're going to wear down considerably in that third period. But the Raiders seem a little bit out of sync so far this period. That week layoff from competition, I think, has affected them, Jerry, so far up to this point.
We got 4-on-4 plus the goaltenders. Jason Jackson takes the face off. The puck comes to Belageron. He flips it in behind the Massena net. Tommy Post after it. He flips it into the corner and picks it up himself. Left side of goaltender Cullen steps by a check. Here comes Post, head man to Jackson. Jackson crisscrosses with McCracken, and he tries to stick handle through, but he lost the puck. It comes back out to Belageron, center ice. Here's Sparky, 1-on-2 now into the Massena zone. He stops out by the blue line, winds for the shot. It's blocked by Barkley. Sparky gets it back. Here's a shot. It's blocked by McCracken. And Scotty gives up the body, just like you like to see, David. And here comes Jackson the other way, 1-on-2. He's got McCracken breaking. They leave him alone. The shot, he just missed barely. It comes back to Barkley at the point. Barkley flips in the corner, goes by McCracken. 45 seconds left in the matching minors. Picking up the puck is Brad Preston. Preston skates it to center ice, to the Massena line. Here comes Jackson, circling in his own end. Jason Jackson with it now, stick handles. Nobody really picks him up, so he stays with it. Trying to flip it ahead to Morris as Massena makes a change. It comes into the Massena zone. Cameron throws a check. The puck comes free. Back out to center ice and dumped right back in the Massena zone again. After it is Jason Labarge. Labarge starts out right side of his. We're going to be a penalty, and Lake Placid is going to be called for interference. Apparently that was a retaliation from an earlier time in the game as, let's see, that's Mike Strack, who just came after Tommy Post and nailed him in the face.
Real bad penalty, really bad. And Cal Lewis just shaking his head. One of the better Bomber players has one of the keys to this team. Brad Preston just made a cardinal sin as a defenseman. Jason Jackson came steaming down that right side, and Brad Preston played the puck instead of the man, and Jason Jackson almost tipped it between the skates, and he would have been home free. But you've got to look that guy right in the numbers as a defenseman. You cannot play that puck.
So Massena will be on a 4-on-3 power play for 14 seconds, and then a regular 5-on-4 power play after that.
And that's more open ice for number 17, Jake Morris and company. He is really dangerous when you give him that additional ice.
Off the face-off, the puck comes to Jason Labarge. Jason feeds Cameron on the left wing. Cameron takes it across into Lake Placid territory. Drop pass goes to Labarge, poked away. Sparky's going to have a breakaway. Sparky breaking in on the right side. Tommy Post gets back, as does the rest of the Massena team. Here's the shot and the save made by Cullen. And also getting back quickly was Fauché as he came out of the penalty box. And a big break from Massena there, and the Raiders come back the other way. Here comes Morris, steps by the defense, all by himself, shot, save, big save there by Spots. Puck comes back to the blue line, out to center ice. So breakaway each way, neither team scores. Back in the Lake Placid zone, and here's Jake Morris. Morris with it, trying to feed it through right in front. The save made by Spots. Actually, there was a pass to Bigelow that got through, and Lake Placid dumps it down the ice. About 35 seconds remaining in the power play. Levac with it. Around the boards it goes to Aaron Barkley, who's just getting off the bench. Barkley's pass intercepted. He has to come back for it and drops it to Levac. About 20 seconds left in the power play. Levac feeds ahead for Barkley. Barkley takes it across in the zone. Here's Aaron Barkley in the corner now as Massena sets up the power play. Barkley with it in the face-off circle. Goes in behind the net for Bigelow right in front. They try to go to Morris. It comes to Cameron. Cameron right in front. Bouncing puck goes back to the blue line and out to center ice. And we're down to 1 second. That'll take care of the power play. So Massena 0 for 2 now on the power play. And we're down to 3:34, and on the Peach Jeweler scoreboard, it's still 0-0. No score in the hockey game as Lake Placid decides to dump the puck in the zone. That was Manning, puck in behind. Massena bounces it back out to center ice, gets by everybody. Preston will have to circle. He's got Eddie Davis forechecking. And Davis steals the shot. The save made. Rebound. McCracken shot. Another save made by Spots. And the puck poked free by Jackson in the corner. Jackson steps by trying to slide it through. It comes to McCracken. McCracken to Davis to Jackson. Jackson can't get the shot off. He's going to have to bounce it in behind the net. Couple of giveaways almost result in a goal. Here's Jackson with the puck now, side of the net. Steps into the circle. The cross crease pass is intercepted, and Lake Placid breaks it out. Tommy Post steps in front of an errant pass, circles into his own end. Still 0-0 on the Pete scoreboard. Headman pass comes to Jason Jackson. Jackson takes it across the blue line, dumps it into the corner, and back there is Tim Manning. Manning flips it around the boards, bouncing puck into the circle, dumped down the ice. Tommy Post gets a piece of it, but can't control it, and he has to chase it down in his own end. Here's Post with it, trying to step by the check. He kind of overskates, circles back the other way. Post with a puck now in behind his own net, starts out left side. Headman pass goes to Davis on the wing. Bounce pass doesn't get out, and it's back in the corner again. Now it comes to Post, right corner. Tommy skates by a check. Drops it in front to LaBarge. LaBarge has it poked away, comes to the side of the net, and Cullen's going to flip it around for Whitcup as Massena makes a line change. Bobby starts out now, skates it to center ice, gets knocked down, the puck taken away, flipped free, it comes to the Lake Placid blue line, bouncing around there. It's picked up by Preston, and he dumps it back in the Massena zone. In behind the net it comes for Jason LaBarge, who drops it for Aaron Barkley. Barkley now kind of overskates, has a little problem with it. It's Lake Placid putting some pressure on. Finally, it's picked up by Fauché, and he brings it out to center ice. His pass intercepted. We have a whistle. What do we have? Another penalty, a roughing call, and Lake Placid picks up another penalty. Matt Colby.
Right. A lot of highlights in the last few minutes, Jerry. Sustained action. For a second there looked like Australian rules football out there, back and forth. But some great plays at either end. Joey Fauché made a great play on Sparky Belanger, as you mentioned, out of the penalty box. Sparky to intercept the pass. And back at the other end, Stuart Spots just stoned Jake Morris, who walked around number 6, Tim Manning, and right in, and Spots just stoned him cold.
Okay, Massena on the power play here. Morris out there with Bigelow and Cameron. Off the face-off, the puck dumped in the Massena zone. Levac with it. He leaves it for Morris, and Jake starts out. Morris with a puck now. He takes it right across by everybody. Breaking in alone. Shot. Score! Jake Morris! And Massena goes up 1-0 on the power play, and Jake just blew right by the defense.
You're inviting disaster when you're a thin squad with two lines and you take two dumb penalties as the Bombers did right in a row. You're tired. The tongue is starting to come out a little bit, and then you spread out. Jake Morris couldn't have placed the Placid players in a more opportune spot if he would have went out there and said, you stand here, you stand there, this is the way I want you, because when you come one-on-one and you're flat-footed, he's going to blow by you. If you're moving, he's going to blow by you. And he just went by all three of them, and just Stuart Spots, he had him at his mercy, gave him a little fake to the backhand, and then came to the forehand and right under the right pad. Raiders up, and you can attribute that, Jerry, to two foolish penalties by the Bombers.
So Massena picking up a power play goal on their third attempt, and they go ahead. Here comes Morris across the blue line once more, and he gets knocked down, gets back up again. He still has the puck. Jake controlling it. He's going to dump it in for Cameron in the corner. Chris with it now, stick handles by some problems. Cameron now drops back for Bigelow. Under a minute to play, Bigelow to the side of the net. Now he steps behind. Looking for Cameron in front, they jam at it. Chris gets a shot, and the save made by Stuart Spots. And the puck controlled by Lake Placid as they move it out to center ice. So the Bombers clear and just dump in the Massena zone. It comes free to Aaron Barkley, and that was partially blocked. Barkley flips to Cameron. Cameron's headman to Morris. He overskates, and it's back into the Massena zone. Breaking free, but an offsides will be called.
The official time on that goal by the Raiders, a 13:46 mark. It was a power play goal. Jake Morris with an assist from Brian Levac. Brian gave him that short pass in his own end, and Jake took it coast to coast, and just was poetry in motion. He just...
You could see that coming, actually.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, the Bombers were in strategic spots as far as Jake was concerned, and he blew right by him. Beautiful goal.
Off the face-off, Massena controls. Cameron, or I should say Levac, racing ahead to Davis. Davis, the big slapper, the save made. Rebound sits, but it's dumped back down the ice by the Bombers, and that's not going to go far enough for icing. And racing back after it is Todd Manning, who's out there for the first time this afternoon, I believe. Manning, headman pass, goes by everybody all the way down the ice, and it's going to be played by the goalie, Spots. And we're down to 5 seconds. Massena leads 1-0. Davis steals the puck side of the net. Jackson after it, and the period is going to end before he can get a shot off. So on the Pete Schuler scoreboard, after a period, the Massena Red Raiders lead it on a score of 1-0.
Well, it started out the Raiders a little out of sync, and the Bombers playing well. But we talked at the top of the show, Jerry, and it's no secret with 2 lines matched up against 3 good skating lines, you just can't succeed. The Bombers do have an outstanding young goaltender in Stuart Spots and several key skilled players along with Sparky Belangeron and Brad Preston and Jeremy Colby. But when you're matched 2 against 3, and they were doing rather well. They were keeping the Raiders off balance, seeing a little out of sync. But then they, late in the period, they took some real foolish penalties, namely at the 9:50, Mike Strack, the interference call, and 13:27, Matt Colby, they called it holding. Could have been several calls on that, but really bad calls, and the Raiders took advantage of that. Shots in that period, Jerry, or saves, I should say, Lake Placid, Stuart Spots with 9 saves, and the Raiders, Dougie Cullen with 5.
So the shots on net were 10-5, a 2-1 advantage for Massena, but mainly that was because of the power play.
Yeah, the Raiders, as we said, were a little out of sync, and that's understandable. And I think Lake Placid's game plan, you come in here and you play tough, conservative, so to speak. Don't take a lot of chances earlier on. The longer that it goes, the longer that we're in the ball game, better to our advantage, because definitely we're the underdog, and the Raiders are favored, and they have to press it a little bit more. And I think they were holding to that somewhat. Again, they got the good young tender back there, but late in the period, when they started to tire, you could tell, and then the foolish penalties.
Well, I'll see them again this afternoon against St. Lawrence Central, so we'll have a good advanced look at them.
Both teams just about ready to go. The Bombers dressed in their road yellow, gold uniforms, I guess you'd call them, gold shirt with trimmed in blue with blue stars up on the shoulders with a blue patch, blue helmets, blue pants with the white piping, and all set. Tommy Crusoe just about ready to drop the puck here in the second period.
Colby against Morris, or no, I take that back, Jackson. And off the face-off, the puck in the Lake Placid zone. We've got Spots defending the goal to our left, and Cullen the goal to our right. Massena's Eddie Davis steals the puck, comes top of the circle. His shot, he fired it wide and high, and the puck goes in behind the net. Jackson throws a check. Puck pokes free. Davis in front, pokes it right on, and the save made on a weak shot by goaltender Stuart Spots. And he was pretty busy toward the end of the second period, and it's starting out that way, or toward the end of the first period, starting out that way in the second.
14 seconds, good pressure by that line of Jackson, McCracken, Davis, and had a good opportunity. Eddie Davis, who possesses that hard shot. Eddie sometimes does break in the pads for those goaltenders, you know. But he possesses that great shot. If he can find that location, he could score some goals.
Face off right side in the Lake Placid zone. It'll be Belangeron against Morris. Off the draw, bouncing puck. Morris can't quite get the shot up. It goes in the corner. And back to the point, kept in by Barkley. Barkley goes to Chris Cameron. Cameron steps by the check, has it poked away, but in to pick it up is Jeff Bigelow. Here's Bigelow with it. Back to Morris. Morris kind of overskates, then he gets a control, circles, and falls down, and it comes out to center ice. Barkley dumps it in. Massena gets onside, and the puck goes in the corner, and Bigelow is there to pick it up. Here's Jeff, steps by a check, steps by another one. Belangeron pokes it. We got a whistle. We're going to have a tripping call, apparently.
Yeah, I think he's going to call it on Matt Colby. Bobby Lozon had the delayed call, and young Mr. Colby is coming to the box and not questioning anything. So, deja vu. Here we go. Another bad penalty for the Bombers, and they cannot afford it.
Massena 1 for 3 on the power play. Their 4th power play opportunity here early in the second period. Massena's power play has been one of the strong points this year. It was certainly a strong point against Rome last weekend.
Yes, it certainly was. That was quite a hockey game. Maybe next period we'll talk about that game a little bit, Jerry.
Off the face-off, Bigelow back to the point. Tommy Post with it. Post bounces it to Morris. Morris at the 45, left side of the goaltender, back to Tommy Post. Here's Post right across the blue line now. Flipping it over to Labarge. He hits the side of the net with his shot. And Morris picks up the rebound into the corner. Now he's out to the 45, top of the circle. Goes across Labarge, winds again and faked and missed on the shot. Comes up with it again and fires it wide. Now the puck comes to Bigelow in the corner. Bounces it back to Tommy Post. Post winds up his shot right on. Big save, rebound in front. Bigelow, another save. by goaltender Spot. Spot stood his ground and came out and cut down the angle. And a couple of big saves there to keep Massena off the scoreboard this time.
You can see what the coaching staff, the Raider coaching staff instructed them. If they're going to play that passive box and give us the points and not go for any fakes in the corner to create the 2-on-1, let's start drifting some shots from the points. And that's what the Raiders done. They've laid about 4 in there, Jerry.
Massena wins the faceoff. Back it goes to Tommy Post. Post can't keep it in, and it's poked out to center ice. And Massena turns it around. Tommy Post in his own end. Long headman pass to Bigelow. Jeff skates it across. Here comes Bigelow now in the corner, looking to set it up to Morris. Back to the point. Tommy Post with it. Flips it over on the other side. Kept in by Labarge. Labarge in the corner for Cameron. Steps by the check. Goes in front. Here's Morris. The shot. Save made. Another save by Spots. Now Morris and Beligeron. Morris gets it back to Post. Post winds up his shot. Bounces through. And the save made at the last second by Spots. Now it's Labarge flipping into Cameron in the corner. Cameron gets tied up, stays with it though. Flips it along the boards. Labarge trying to go to the 45. Morris back to the point. 9 seconds left in the power play. Another shot knocked down in front, and the save made once more by Stuart Spots.
Every action has a reaction, and so the Bombers adjusted to what Massena was doing. They started moving their forecheckers out to cover the points, and then a good power play like Massena had. They adjusted immediately, then went down inside and created the mismatch, the 3-on-2 inside. Great adjustment by both teams.
And some good chances and some good goaltending.
Yes. Excellent. Young Mr. Beligeron, he has good form out there, and he's in the game. You know, he's got the makings of a fine young goaltender.
Faceoff will be to the right side in Lake Placid territory.
Mr. Spots, I guess. I called him the wrong name. But
Strack and Fauché will draw. We're down to 5 seconds left in the power play. And I guess we're ready to drop the puck. Tommy Caruso drops it. It comes to the Bombers, and they're going to dump it. And Levac keeps it in. Penalty is up. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Tommy Moore drops to Fauché. Fauché looks for Levac. It's intercepted. Out to center ice it comes. Strack head-manning to Blinn. Blinn takes it across. Barkley steers it into the corner. They jam for it there, and Barkley comes away with it. Barkley's headman bounces off a stick out to center ice, and bouncing around to the Massena line, Levac is there. Bryan with it now, looking to flip it ahead, intercepted, dumped right back in the Massena zone. Here's Levac again. He's going to go behind the net. It comes free to Barkley. Barkley bounces to center ice, dumped back in the zone. Delay off sides, but Lake Placid clears. And here comes Aaron Barkley. This time he stick handles it to the blue line out to center ice. Intercepted there, lifted right back in the Massena zone. And it comes free to Levac again. Here's Levac with it. Around the boards. Trying to hit the wing or Whitcup now, and Bobby starts to skate it. Here's Whitcup, bounce pass, Fauché. Joey turns around. Headman goes to Tommy Moore. Moore just dumps it in the zone. And we have apparently didn't get in the zone all the way. Offsides will be the call against Massena with 11:35 left to go in period number 2. And on the Corky's Collision scoreboard, Massena leads 1-0.
You can see the Bombers coming out, good fresh legs after a 15-minute break, and they're creative. Good skating club, as we talked about, and they flow and they move, and they're causing Massena some problems right now. But as the period wears on, those legs get a little tired, and they don't become as effective.
Jason Jackson's line out from Massena now, and it'll be Beligeron, Sweeney, and Colby for Lake Placid. Off the face-off, the puck comes to Barkley, gets by him in the Massena zone. Barkley racing for it, back to Post. Post circles in behind his own net, being forecheck, stays with it. Ahead to McCracken. McCracken looking to hit Davis, he does. Here comes Eddie across the blue line. He's got Jackson with him. Goes to McCracken. McCracken can't get the shot off. We have a whistle. Man in the crease, I believe, will be the call, and that'll move the face-off outside as Jason Jackson was in the crease and got called for it.
And referee Tommy Caruso right on the spot making the call, and it was a good call. We played little less than 4 minutes here in the second period, and the Raiders up 1-0.
Face-off will be outside Lake Placid zone. Off the draw, it comes to Barkley. Barkley trying to headman to Davis. It comes into Placid territory. They're going to dump it to the Massena line. Here's Tommy Post with it now. Flips it ahead for McCracken. He gulps it in the Lake Placid zone. The defenseman Benty after it there. Davis throws the check. The puck in their equipment. They jam for it along the boards. It comes. Jackson, he can't hold on to it. It comes down the ice. That's going to go right on the Massena net, so no icing called. And Cullen's going to flip it ahead and out to center ice. Here comes Jackson with it for McCracken. 2-on-2. McCracken across the blue line. Fakes the shot. Don't pass Davis. His shot goes off a leg into the corner. Now the defenseman Manning after it. He gets thrown for a loss. As the puck comes right in front, McCracken can't get the shot off after the pass from Jackson. Jackson now looking for it. He and Belageron jam in the corner. And the puck finally comes free to Placid. They get it out to center ice. Tommy Post. Post from the red line. Flips it ahead for McCracken. He waits. Skates it and dumps into Lake Placid territory. It's dumped right back down the ice. That'll be an icing call against Lake Placid, and we'll face it off back in Placid territory.
Again, trying to conserve energy. I'm sure they are. We talked about it in the first period, how the Placid defense really gives up that blue line. The play's in the neutral zone, and they're standing 30 feet. They're down at the dot. You know, they should, especially on that strong side defenseman should come up to that blue line. But, again, when you're thin, you haven't got the numbers. Easier said than done, I suppose.
Colby against Morris now. Face off left side of Stewart's spots. Off the draw. Morris gets a weak shot off and the save made. Right off the face-off, and we'll do it again.
Again, what I would instruct my goaltender on a situation like this, when you're thin and the club gets running around, gets tired, that goaltender should be holding on for a face-off every possible chance he gets.
Massena making a quick line change here. Very quick line change. Has the Fauché line out there now. Off the face-off, the puck comes free to Fauché back to the point. Labarge can't keep it in. And it's dumped back out, back in again. I don't know why they blew the whistle, but they did. They'll call the offsides.
No chance to touch up there. Again, spurts and spurts, I guess we can call it. This haven't had much continuity in this period so far. Played about a little less than 5 minutes, and it's been herky-jerky.
I guess so. On the Corky scoreboard, it's 1-0 for Massena. A late first period power play goal, the only scoring thus far. Off the backhand, here comes Tommy Moore across the blue line. Sets it up, trying to center it, knocked down, and back the other way is Jeremy Colby. 3-on-2 for Placid. Colby breaks in the zone, trying to slide through. He gets by the defense, but he's taken out of the play by Fauché. Good job by Fauché back-checking, and Massena clears it out to center ice. Here comes Tommy Moore. Moore breaking down the right wing side, stops. Now he follows it in. Here's Moore, top of the circle, gets a shot off, goes by a leg and into the corner. After it, Fauché. Fauché, back to the point, Levac shot. And the pad save, although that may have been wide, but Spots decides to cover it up and hold on. That play back in the Massena zone, the forward for Lake Placid blew by the Massena defenseman, but fortunately Joey Fauché came back and covered up on the play.
You hit the nail right on the head, Jerry. I was just going to refer to that, and the Raider defenseman was Brian Levac. He lunged with the stick, and you can't do that. And as he did, he lunged with the stick, he put himself off balance, and the Placid forward went right around Brian.
Now it's Morris's line right back out there for Massena against the Belageron line. Face off right side of goaltender Spots. Off the face, back to Barkley. He's going to wind it up. His shot kind of a misfire, but he gets it right back again. Takes it into the corner. Got a couple of guys on him trying to stay with it. Bigelow, but Bigelow steals from him. Here's Jeff with the puck now, right side of the goal. He looks to center, right in front. Cameron the shot. Oh, he just missed, and I mean just missed. Now it comes back to Post. He can't keep it in. Post with a puck now. Drops it. Here's Bigelow, circling, looking for Morris. Feeds it to him in the corner. Morris picks up the loose puck there, has it poked away, and the puck bounces along the dasher board, and Lake Placid is going to clear it out to center ice. Here comes the Bombers into the Massena zone, puck poked away, and the Raiders dump it back out to center ice. Right there is Brad Preston, the flip back in Massena territory. In behind for Aaron Barkley. Still 1-0. Massena on the Corky scoreboard. Now the puck slides in Lake Placid zone as Massena's going to make a line change here. Jackson's line comes out as Ryan Benty, the Placid defenseman, picks up the puck. Headman bounces up into the boards off the stick of Matt Colby, and we'll have a face-off just outside Lake Placid territory.
Possibly, and the Bombers are getting a break here. The Raiders are not always finishing their checks, and when you've got a small club like this and a young...
The face-off. The puck along the boards. They jam for it right at the blue line. And finally, it's controlled by Jason Jackson. Jackson looking. He sees McCracken breaking. On the right side, goes by him. Into the corner. And McCracken throws the check, falls down, gets back up, picks up the puck. Trying to feed to Jackson. Puck sits in the circle. And now back in behind the net. After it is Jackson. He comes up with it. He's going to circle. Trying to go through. Has it poked away. Now McCracken after it. He can't come up with it. And it's out to center ice. Todd Manning flipping it ahead. Intercepted there by Chad Martin. Martin bounced pass to the Massena line, and the bouncing puck is controlled by McCracken. McCracken, headman for Jackson, goes by him. Picked up on the defense by Tim Manning. Now Jackson steals his pass. He's got McCracken breaking. Can't get it to him. Circles in behind. Davis shot right on. Save made. And a good pass play there as Scotty McCracken right in the thick of things. And we're going to have some penalties.
And also the Raiders have another set of defense. Todd Manning and Todd Collins are both out there for the Raiders. And Todd Collins just made a nice play clearing the zone. And we are going to have tempers getting a little bit here. And Scotty McCracken is going. I think it's going to be matching or just one for the...
I don't know.
Maybe just the Raiders for... Put the Bombers on the power play here with 7:36 left in the second period, and Lake Placid up, or Massena up 1-0, and there's just one penalty going up on the clock. So it's number 11, Scott McCracken.
Of course, that was a retaliation, and usually that's what they catch is the retaliation.
Always catch the second one, and Walters got it 7:24 for roughing. So the Bombers on the power play.
Off the face-off. Bigelow backhands it. Bigelow and Morris out there along with LaBarge and Levac to try to kill this one off. 7:27, about halfway through the hockey game on the Corky scoreboard. It's 1-0 Massena. Here comes Sparky, building up the head of steam, breaks in the Massena zone in behind the net. Here's a wraparound attempt. Cullen makes the save, and Bigelow dumps it down the ice. Now back to pick it up is Ryan Benty. Benty flipping it for Brad Preston. Preston leaves it for Belageron, and he starts it out again. This time he's going to pass. Hard check thrown there by LaBarge, and Morris picks up the loose puck. Looks to waste a little time. He stick handles by one, by another, and flips it into the Lake Placid zone. Jake now doing some forechecking. He steals the puck, loses it, comes back out to center ice, comes to LaBarge. Jason over to Levac. Levac now with 30 seconds left in the power play dumps it in the Lake Placid zone. Brad Preston for Lake Placid now trying to flip it ahead. It goes to Matt Colby. He winds his shot about 15 feet wide. Here's Belageron. Big save there by goaltender Dougie Cullen on the shot by Sparky. Now the puck back to the point. Here's a deflected shot right on. Cullen makes the save, loses it, and then covers up for the faceoff. And Levac just got railed by Matt Colby.
Matt Colby is going to go to the box for it, too. It was after the play, and he comes up to Brian's armpits, and he caught him unawares and put him right over the back of Dougie Cullen.
Is that in one of your categories of dumb penalties?
That's in the immediate one, because it was close to, he was protecting his goaltender, but no, I wouldn't call that one a dumb one. It was too close to the whistle, Jerry.
Oh, okay. Of course, that'll even things up for 11 seconds, and Massena will go on the power play.
Sparky Belageron, he's a threat out there, number 5. He's got the good wheels, and he had led one good rush for the Bombers that time and danced in behind the Massena net and threw it right across the crease. That was basically the only...
He did get another shot
Yes,
on,
that's true. The one on the the one that Dougie made the nice save on.
Okay, we're 4-on-4 for the next 11 seconds, and then Massena will go on the power play. Here's Post with it, stick handling in his own end, looking. Now he's going to carry it himself. Across the red line. Across the blue line into Lake Placid territory. Has it taken away. Now Massena on the power play as McCracken comes out of the box. And Tommy Moore goes out there. So we're going to see the third line on this power play. As Lake Placid trying to clear it out of their zone. Kept in at the point nicely by Barkley. He goes to Fauché. Joey fakes it. Right in front. Cameron right. They jam. They score. Chris Cameron, I believe, went off the back of the goalie. And Massena scores a power play.
And I know... Coach Stan Moore was looking for a spark to get this club going, so he put that Fauché unit. Boy, they can create sparks. Joey Fauché, Tommy Moore, and Bobby Whitcup out there, and they just put the Raiders up 2-0. I think Tommy Moore was looking to throw it across the slot to the open man, and as he threw it across the crease, Chris Cameron was out there. He was trying to find Chris Cameron. He had replaced Bobby Whitcup, and I think it hit Stuart Spots and went on them. But they all count, and that line did provide the spark.
Yeah, it's credited to Chris Cameron. Fauché picking up one assist, and Barkley the other. So Massena picks up their second power play, and the power play has been the difference, David.
Yes, it has.
And we're underway again here as we've got the Jason Jackson line out there. Massena leading at 2-0 on the Corky's Collision scoreboard. In the corner, they jam for it. A lot of players in there. Everybody tied up. Nobody can get the handle. Now it comes free to Jason Jackson out by the blue line. Trying to flip it through. And the bouncing puck controlled by Placid. They're going to try to make it out to center ice, and they do. Here comes Gadwa. Gadwa just dumps in the Massena zone. It's the first time we've seen him, I believe. We've got Kellison out there for the first time from Massena. Now Barkley with a puck, trying to move it ahead. And it's kicked, and Kellison comes up with it. Here comes Kellison's head man, knocked down. He's going to go after it himself. It bounces free. Jason Jackson across the blue line. Here's Jackson breaking in on the right side. Belageron trying to tie him up. The bouncing puck comes back out to center ice off a Lake Placid stick. Here's Barkley with it. In his own end, head man to Jackson. He circles at the blue line, starts it back the other way. Jason Jackson across the blue line, takes it in on the right side, being ridden in behind the net. Jackson finally taken out of the play by Belageron, or I thought he was. Jackson stays with it, though. Jason, a pretty solid boy. Goes back to Levac at the point, back to Jackson. Jackson stepping in the corner now, looking for somebody to pass to. Flips it in behind for Eddie Davis. Davis circling now, left side of the goalie, back to the point. Jason Labarge winds up his shot, wide and high. Back to Levac. He winds up and dumps it behind the net. Bouncing puck comes in the corner. Jake Morris on the ice. We're going to have a penalty as Kellison got railed. Massena on the power play in a moment. Here's the shot. Massena still controls as Cullen gets off, but the whistle blows. And Kellison just got railed in front of the net.
Well, we've talked again. He's such an important factor. He goes out there, and he's not big, but you cannot move him out of there. They hammered on him. Matt Colby tried to take him out of there, and he stands a foot taller than Freddie Kellison. He couldn't move him. Finally, Sparky Belageron came down from the top of the slot area and just cross-checked him, and Tommy Caruso right on the spot. But he's just so tough to move out of there, and he was creating all kinds of problems for goalie Stewart spots. The Raiders, I think, have found that spark, and the Bombers starting to sag a little bit. When you start taking those penalties and you're tired, it's going to count.
Jake Morris out there with his line mates on the power play. Massena with a couple of power play goals already. Here comes Bigelow in the corner after it. He stops. Feeds to Morris at the 45, left side of the goalie. They go back to the point. Tommy Post. Back pass to Morris. Here's Jake with it. In the corner for Bigelow. The give and go. Bounces in front. The shot right on. They score again. And I do believe Cameron will get that one.
Yeah, the Bombers are going to argue that it was a hand pass. But it's not going to wash. Great play by Jake Morris. The rebound came out. He batted it down to himself. He actually batted it. Not on the stick, but he batted it right to Stuart Spots, who made the save. And since the Bombers touched it, Stuart Spots, it came back out to the Raiders. Jason Labarge just right in front, and he hammered it in. And for the Raiders' third power play goal and their third goal of the afternoon. But a good job by Jake Morris to control that.
3:43 remaining in the second period. And Massena makes a line change here as Fauché line comes back out. Labarge gets the goal. Morris gets the assist. So Jake with a goal and an assist here this afternoon. Massena leads at 3-0 on the Corky scoreboard. We're in the second period. Tommy Moore with it, skates it across the blue line into Lake Placid territory, trying to drop back to Fauché, comes out to center ice. Manning is there from Massena. He flips it into Lake Placid territory, and that's Chad Martin with it, trying to get it out, and it's kept in at the point by Moore. He flips it around the boards. Tim Manning is there for Lake Placid. We got a Manning on each team. Fauché throws the check, steals the puck, goes to the side of the net, and Spots is going to cover it up. And Fauché just got railed in behind and ended up in the netting behind the net. And the crowd calling for a penalty, but I don't think they're going to get one.
The Raiders are not big, but they're bigger than Placid, and they're starting to utilize that by finishing their checks, and it's taking the toll on the Bombers. That last goal, the 11-17 mark, a power play goal, is second of the year. Jason Labarge and Jake Morris picking up the assist. And the one prior to that, the second goal, I don't think we officially announced it. It was at 9:15, his fifth of the year. Chris Cameron, Joey Fauché, and Aaron Barkley on the assist.
Jackson out there now to take the face off. And he'll face it off against Jeremy Colby. Off the draw, the point. Here's the big drive. And that's why Todd Collins getting a boomer off there. Now the puck in the corner. Jackson with it. Jason, he just got railed. Stays with it, though. Hard to knock him off the puck. Jackson kicks it over to Kellison. Kellison stick handles into the circle now. Back to Jackson in the corner. Hit the official. Now Jackson looking to go back to the point is taken away. Kellison throws the check. Takes the puck. Here's Kellison with it, trying to stay with it. He's got Martin draped all over him. Now Jackson comes in to help out, and Jason skates it into the corner. Jackson flipping it around the boards for Eddie Davis. Davis picking it up at the 45, back to Todd Manning. He flips it in behind the net. Goaltender got a stick on it. Now Kellison and Jackson. Jackson trying to skate it free. Goes to Davis. Davis, back pass. Manning at the point. Manning flips it. It's intercepted and out to center ice. And it comes to the Massena line. Todd Collins dumps it for Kellison. Goes by him. Lake Placid, they're going to dump it to the Massena line. Todd Collins is there. Collins, nice head man, Eddie Davis. He breaks in the zone. Here's Davis, the quick wrist shot. Glove save made by goaltender Spots.
Again, and Todd Collins, you had a nice move back there. Again, that when you're the last man back, those three key words, last man back, you don't fiddle with a puck. And he had three bombers on him, and he didn't. He cleared the zone, stepped up on the blue line, intercepted a bomber pass, and started Eddie Davis away. But a good move by number 14, Todd Collins, who's now taking a regular shift out there with Todd Manning.
On the Corky scoreboard, Massena leads it 3-0. 2:04 left in the second period. Face-off Lake Placid zone. Morris trying to get the shot off the draw. It's in the corner. Cameron throws a check. Loose puck picked up by Matt Colby. Long head man pass. Colby gets it right back again at the red line. Morris just takes him off the puck and skates away with it. Jake with it now, breaking in. He's got Cameron. He shoots, and the save made. Woo, big save by Spots as Massena breaking in on the 2-on-1.
Great save by Stuart Spots. The Raiders stepped in on a 2-on-1. Jake Morris, and he used Chris Cameron as a decoy. He looked, and he was hoping that Spots would slide a little to his right, overplay the pass, and Jake got off a quick wrist shot, but Stuart Spots, he was Johnny on the spot that time, and nice save.
Face off left side now. Sparky against Jake Morris. Sparky against Jake. Off the draw. Puck comes to Cameron. Cameron to Bigelow. His shot. Save again by Spots.
Sparky and Jake, that sounds like a movie.
We'll do it over again, too. As another big save for Stuart Spots. And he's been a little busier this second period.
Yes, he has. Well, the Raiders are starting to get into the game, starting to mix. You know, this hockey is a physical game, and you can't just stick check. And they're starting to throw some checks out there, finish their checks, and they're much more effective.
Oh, right off the faceoff. Comes to Levac. He turns it into the corner now. Cameron. Chris with a puck now trying to step by a check. Stays with it. Has it poked away. Comes back to Levac. His drive deflected wide by Bigelow. Jeff had to get out of the way of that one quickly. Here comes Sparky breaking out. He gets by Morris, but the puck gets away from him. It comes to Levac. Brian circles. Flips it for Bigelow. Doesn't get it out of the zone, though. Here's a drive from the point, and that goes way wide. And Chris Cameron's going to pick it up, and Massena breaks down 3-on-3. Here comes Cameron into the zone, gets by the defense, Cameron, and he fired it just wide. Cameron in behind now to Bigelow. Jeffrey with a puck now in the circle. Here's Bigelow trying to flip it into Cameron in the corner. Looks to stay with it, goes to Cameron, goes by him. Chris after it there. Ooh, he gets taken out of the play, and the puck picked up, the loose puck by McCaslin. McCaslin doesn't get it out. Here's Jason Labarge, flipping it in behind the net again. McCaslin picks up the loose puck once more, comes free in front. And the shot knocked down, back to the point. Labarge with it. Labarge steps by a check, kind of gets knocked down, and the puck dumped all the way down the ice by Lake Placid. We have a whistle, and we're going to have a penalty. And I do believe Chris Cameron's going to get the gate for tripping.
I'll tell you, the Bombers needed that whistle. They were just hanging on by the skin of their teeth. Massena's all over them now. Stuart Spots is hanging tough in there, but the Bombers are running around. They're out of position, and they're really tired. And again, you cannot go 3 against 2 and take some penalties along the way and expect to be effective. Massena's really starting to pick up the tempo, Jerry.
Okay, we've got McCracken and Fauché out there to try to kill it, along with Barkley and Post. Off the face-off. And the puck bouncing free. Here comes Sparky across the blue line. Makes the shift. Takes it across in front. The shot and the save by Cullen. And the whistle blows. Blew a little early there, but Cullen jumped on it anyway.
Sparky tried to do too much that time. It was actually a 2-on-3. The Raider back checker got back, and Sparky tried to beat all 3 of the Massena players, and the odds were stacked against him.
Fauché will face off against Belageron. 28 seconds remaining in the second period on the Corky scoreboard. 3-0 Massena. Face off left side of Cullen. Off the draw. The puck controlled by McCracken, and he's going to lug it to center ice. Here comes Scotty. And he has it poke checked away at the blue line. Belageron bounces it. Barkley whacks at it, waved at it, but right there is Fauché to pick it up with 15 seconds left. Tommy Post in behind the Massena net. Post gates it now to the side. He's going to backhand it out to center ice. And it goes back to Lake Placid line with 4 seconds remaining. And Placid just bounces it to the Massena blue line as the period ends. And when we come back in the third period, Lake Placid will have 54 seconds of power play. But we played 2 periods, and the scoreboard reads Massena 3 and Lake Placid no score.
Slow starting for the Raiders in that second period as they did in the first, but they did pick up the tempo. They started to play the body a little bit more and finish their checks, and the wheels were starting to come off for the Bombers here at the end of that second period. I'm waiting to see what the shots on goal. Walter's just writing them down on the saves. Well, 12-6, and they were 12 stellar saves. So the Massena outshot them 14-6. I thought it would be a little higher, Jerry. They certainly had a bigger margin in territorial play that period.
Oh, no doubt about it. I guess you could say Massena's advantage in bodies is starting to weigh.
Yeah, they got into it, started mixing a little bit, and Massena, as we said, is not a big club compared to some of the ones we saw downstate. That Rome club, they were huge. We talked about that. They had 4 defensemen that they were all 6 plus.
State Farm Insurance scoreboard as we get ready to start this third period.
Bobby Lozon's going to do the honors this period. Jake Morris just ready to put the blade down, and it looks like number 5, Sparky Bergeron.
So the captain, Sparky against Jake again.
And they're 2 fine hockey players.
Yes, indeed. Off the face-off, comes to the Massena line. Racing for it is Labarge, and he circles. Massena, as we mentioned, killing a penalty. Labarge is going to drop it for Bigelow. Jeff comes after, turns it, goes back in behind the net. Labarge throws a check. The puck sits there. Bigelow picks it up, goes back to the point, but not out. Kept in there. Here's an opportunity. Bounces free in front, and Sparky trying to get it with a glove. He knocks it down, goes in the corner. 30 seconds left in the power play. It's swept away by Labarge. Comes free in front. They try to give and go. Here's the drive. Big save by Cullen. Now the puck picked up behind the net by Matt Colby. He centers it, and Morris comes up with the puck. Jake is going to dump it. And Massena is going to make penalty killing change here as we get the 7-11. No, wait a minute. No, we're not going to have. Yes, we are. 7-11. As Fauché and McCracken come out. Here's Sparky with it. Headman pass. Goes back in the Lake Placid zone from Colby. Now Colby gets it back. It's Jeremy Colby. Leaves it to the Massena line, and Tommy Post is there. The flip from McCracken. McCracken just shovels it back up to the blue line. Now back comes Colby. He's got Bergeron, but it's taken away by Jason Jackson. The penalty is up. Jackson almost lost it right in front of his own net. But he does manage to get it out. Eddie Davis trying to get by a check, gets knocked down, and the puck comes to Brad Preston. Preston loses it, and we got delay offsides on Massena, but they clear the zone. Now Preston flips it all the way down the ice in the Massena end. They wave the icing off, and Tommy Post coming up with it. It's still 3-0 Massena on the Bob Post State Farm Insurance scoreboard. And here comes Levac. Headman pass Davis. His pass intercepted. Jackson trying to throw a check. Dump back to the Massena blue line. Here's McCracken. McCracken feeds Jackson. Goes off the back of his stick. Back in the Massena zone. Jackson circles. Here's Jackson. Still back there looking. Circling. Building up the head of steam. Jackson breaks out of the zone. Takes it in the Lake Placid zone. Jackson looking for McCracken. Gets it in front. The backhander. Score! I think Jason Jackson will get the goal. And Massena goes up 4-0. And Jackson was looking to pass. And he just couldn't get the pass off, so he stayed with it and got it on the backhand. Now, it may have went off a defenseman because it did change directions, but Massena goes up 4-0.
That was one of those north-south all the way. Jason Jackson, he was looking, but again, the Placid defense giving up the zone, giving up that blue line so easily, and when he beat the checker up here, he gained the zone rather easily, and it went one-on-one. The defenseman walked around him. He was looking for Scotty on that side, but it went in off the defenseman.
Here comes Massena's Tommy Moore breaking in, centering pass. Fauché shot right in front. They jam at it. Whitcup, but staying with it is Stuart Spots, and he holds on for the faceoff.
And as usually happens after a goal, the team that's been scored upon, they sit back on their heels. They haven't reacted to that shock of the goal. The initial reaction has worn off, and boy, that first minute after that, 40, 50 seconds is dangerous. And Massena taking advantage, storming right back in, and the Bombers just dodged the bullet. They almost had another one scored on them.
This would not be a bad Lake Placid club if they had a couple more bodies out there. If they had another line, Dave, I think they'd be a good club. It'll be Jason Jackson getting the goal from Scott McCracken and Ed Davis, so the line gets the goal. Off the face-off, back to the point, it comes to Labarge. Labarge looking for Tommy Moore at the 45. Moore overskates it, back to the point, it's poked away, and out to center ice. Breaking in the zone is Mike Strack, the drive, and giving up the body is Labarge. He knocks it down, and the puck bounces back to the blue line, out to center ice, Tommy Moore with it. Moore circles back to his own blue line again, and goes over on the other side to Labarge. Jason made a good play that time on defense. Here's Jason ahead to Joey Fauché. Fauché takes it across, and Moore will be offside on the right side.
And he also made a great play previous to that, before the goal, that I wanted to mention. He had the puck when the Raiders were down a man, and he lost it in his skates behind the net. Well, instead of fishing for it, looking down, all he did, he looked up and he took the Placid player, pinned him against the boards, and let his teammate pick up the puck. A smart move by Jason Labarge.
Morris out there now with Bigelow and Cameron, and here comes Sparky. Sparky and Jake again. Off the face-off, it comes to Levac. He dumps it in the Lake Placid zone. Brad Preston, the defenseman, flipping. Jake Morris dumps it right back to Cameron in behind the net. Chris with it now, looking. Circles back to the right side of the goalie. Has it poke-checked away, goes after it, goes back to the point to Levac. Levac back in the corner for Cameron. Chris now looks to center. It goes in behind for Bigelow. Now Jeff with the puck. Jeff circles. Dumps it for Cameron in behind. Chris picking it up, goes back to Bigelow. Oh, nice block right there. Comes back to the point. Tommy Post a shot right on. Rebound. Bigelow. Morris. They score again. Jake Morris on a beautiful pass from Bigelow, and Massena goes up 5-0.
I tell you, that's unselfish. That is typically Jeff Bigelow. He had Stuart spots right at his mercy. He had him. He could have gone the far side, and everybody in this place, including myself, thought he was going to ram it upstairs. What he did, he slid it across the crease to his teammate. A beautiful, unselfish goal honest by Jeff Bigelow. What a pass.
So Jake picks up his second. We'll give the big assist to Jeff Bigelow. And
the defenseman's going to pick up an assist, too.
Right. And, of course, Tommy Post started the play. And here comes Massena in the zone. Jason Jackson. Oh, he just threw a check. The puck bouncing around, comes out to center ice. Todd Collins. We have a whistle, and we're going to have a holding call on McCracken.
And just to recap that last goal for our listeners, Jerry, just a little clearer explanation. It came back to the point the Raiders were putting pressure on Tommy Post. Nice low shot on the net. And there were two Raiders standing out front with one yellow shirt that came right to Jeff Bigelow off to the left of Stuart Spots. And Jeff could have fired it in. What he did, he slid it right across when the defenseman left, right across to Jake, and he had 99% of that empty net. And Jake doesn't make a mistake on those.
So Massena will be killing off another penalty as McCracken gets the gate for holding. Jake Morris out there along with Jeff Bigelow. Face off, it comes back to Aaron Barkley. Barkley being forechecked by Matt Colby. He circles it, takes it right in front of the net, has it poked away, but it comes free to Labarge. And Jason dumps it to center ice. It comes to Bigelow, back to Labarge. He flips it. Colby at the Lake Placid line, gets by a check. That's Jeremy Colby. There are two Colbys on this team. It comes into Barkley, and he flips it in the Lake Placid zone. Back out to center ice. Barkley again at his own blue line. A little problem with it there. Circles and shovels it ahead for Bigelow. Jeffrey just whacks it down the ice. In fact, that's going to be right on. And Spots has one of his easier saves of the afternoon. Lake Placid breaking it out to the blue line. It's Matt Colby. He circles by the Massena defense and lifts it high in the air in behind the Massena net. Jason Labarge is there. Circles out of trouble, starts out right side. He's got a lot of room, lifts it high in the air. The bouncing puck, Fauché. We got a delay offsides. And he just got ahead of the puck. And now it's dumped back down the ice. What do they call an icing? They can't call an icing on that.
No, he's calling referee Tommy Caruso. No, Bobby Lozon on the call. And it's coming back, and it'll be dropped to the left of Stuart Spots.
But he can't call an icing. Lake Placid. Oh, no, that's right. Massena's killing. Okay.
Massena's killing, yeah.
I lost track of who was on the power play here for a moment.
21 seconds left in the power play for the Bombers, and 10:20 left in the third period. Raiders up 5-0.
On the Post scoreboard, it is 5-0 off the faceoff. Fauché back to Post. Post does a good job to keep it in, but it kicks free, and it's Blinn. Blinn's head man goes to the line, and Fauché picks it up, drops it back in the Massena zone. Tommy Post, with 8 seconds left in the power play, whacks it down the ice. And that's going to take care of the Lake Placid power play as Massena gets McCracken back. He steps on the ice. Cameron trying to throw a forecheck. Oh, boy, hard check thrown by McCracken. And going down that time was Gadwa. Now back the other way. Lake Placid in the zone. That's the defenseman, Tim Manning, shovels it across the Massena goal mouth. Nobody there, and Tommy Moore picks it up. Moore circling in behind his own net. Headman goes to Cameron. He lets it by out to center ice. Going to go right on net. And the save made by Spots. He flips it ahead for Manning. Manning, around the boards it goes. And a hard check thrown by Moore as the puck comes out to center ice. Tommy Post over skates. We got a delay off sides, but Massena clears. It comes to Chad Martin for the Bombers. In his own end, he's got Kellison forechecking. He stays with it. Now Fauché in there. He and Manning go together. Now Kellison throws a check. The puck kicks free, and Lake Placid breaks back the other way. To the Massena blue line. Levac as Lake Placid wants a change. It comes to Freddie Kellison. Kellison looking for Tommy Moore. Bounce pass to Moore. And on the left side, Tommy has nobody to pass it to as Massena on a line change. And it's dumped back down the ice by Lake Placid. They're going to call an icing on that and bring it back in the Lake Placid zone. 8:49 remaining, third period. And on the Bob Post State Farm Insurance scoreboard, Massena leads 5-0.
The coaching staff is switching Bobby Whitcup and Freddie Kellison, alternating in that Joey Fauché unit. And right now, number 8, Freddie's out there, and if the Raiders gain possession inside the zone, and he parked himself in front. Well, he's not out there. They made a change again.
Now we're coming out with the Jackson line.
Jackson line coming back.
And Sparky's line out there for Lake Placid. Sparky Balageron.
If you had Kate Nally, why not Sparky and Jake? I think it sounds better.
Off the face-off. Puck cleared around the boards. Back to the point. Labarge, he flips it in the face-off circle. Jason Jackson is there. Looking into the corner now. Stick handles by a couple. Goes to McCracken in front. The shot. And a save made by Stuart Spots. Davis goes back to the point. Manning, or that's not Manning, that's Barkley in behind the McCracken. McCracken's pass bounces free. Comes out to center ice. Here comes Sparky. He's got Jason Labarge, the only man back. Sparky stick handles, but Labarge, good play again, takes him out of the play. And Massena breaks it back. Comes to the point, but not out. Flipped in the corner now. Labarge. And we have a whistle.
Also, you meant Jason Labarge, a great job. We're hitting from behind call against the Raiders. But a great job by number 23, Jason Jackson, who really hustled back. It was a 2-on-1 initially for the Bombers, but Jason Jackson coming back really hard, created a 2-on-2 and allowed Jason Labarge to play the man.
Davis picks up the penalty for a hit from behind.
The Bombers have not been very effective on their power play. In fact, on the last one they had, I don't think they got a decent shot on goal, Jerry.
Okay, Morris will face off against Sparky. Jake against Sparky. Off the face-off, it comes to Tommy Post. And Jake does not lose too many face-offs.
Doesn't.
Here's Post, a headman to Bigelow. He just sticks it down into Lake Placid territory. Back after it is Brad Preston for the Bombers. Preston picking up the loose puck. Stops behind the net, leaves it for Sparky. Balageron starts it out. Here's Balageron breaking into the Massena zone, trying to get by Bigelow. Bigelow takes him out of the play, and Massena dumps it out to center ice. That was Levac picking up the loose puck. And sometimes Sparky tries to do too much by himself, I think. Maybe sometimes he has to. Now the puck back to Lake Placid line. Oh, Jake sprinting for it, couldn't come up with it. Here's Balageron, across the blue line. His shot is deflected wide, bounces around the boards, but not out. Kept in, it comes to Levac in the corner. Brian looks at it, can't get it out of the zone. Here's the drive from the point. Levac steals it and dumps it back down the ice. We're going to have a penalty on Lake Placid and a holding call against the Bombers as Tommy Post had his stick wrenched right out of his hand. We'll see who gets the gate on that one. That'll even things up here. 7:10 remaining, third period on the Bob Post State Farm Insurance scoreboard. It's 5-0 Massena.
The Bombers tank almost on empty. They've got a few drops left, Jerry. And I was chuckling out here when Jeff Bigelow gets going underway out there, especially killing the penalty, those arms and legs. He reminds me of a Tasmanian devil. You know, you see on that cartoon. He just a whirling dervish coming at you. He's enough to frighten you. He went after Sparky Belageron. I thought he was going to tear him in two that time.
Well, Belageron is the penalized player. So we're 4-on-4 now for the next 31 seconds, and Massena will go on another power play. We've got Jackson and McCracken out there for Massena. Face-off in the Lake Placid zone to the right side of goaltender Stuart Spots, who's been good here this afternoon. Jackson controls the puck now, top of the circle, goes across the ice for Labarge. Jason winds it, the shot, and the save made by Spots. Now McCracken picks it up, trying to flip it back to Jackson. In the 45 position, Jackson knocked off the puck, trying to stay with it. McCracken picks it up to Labarge, goes to Jackson. And got a high stick call on Jason Labarge, I believe.
Yes, it is, and that one happened about 11 inches away from Tommy Caruso. He was standing right on the line, and as the Lake Placid player came out to rush the point, he and Jason collided, and Jason got the stick up and the elbow, and the referee Tom Caruso right there, and I think it was a good call.
So Labarge gets the gate, so that'll nullify the Massena power play. In fact, it will give Lake Placid a power play here.
I'll tell you, the guys that are really mumbling going to the bench of those forwards that were on that power play going to get a chance to rack up a stat.
Yeah, they figure they could get a goal or an assist here.
Jason's not too popular right now.
Here's Colby now, has it poked away, goes back to center ice. Here comes Jake Morris, breaking down, trying to flip by the defense. He does, gets a shot. Nice save by Stuart Spots. And Jake gets the puck back again in the circle, drops it to Tommy Post. He turns it, winds it, the shot again, and the save by Spots. And Jake picks up the loose puck again, moves it along the boards, has it taken away, stays with it. Hard check thrown by Bigelow, and the puck comes free. They jam for it along the boards right at the blue line. Tommy Post, Jake Morris, and Jake drops it back to, let's see here, that's Levac. Levac to Bigelow. Here comes Jeffrey breaking across on the left side. Into the corner now, 1-on-4. Bigelow stays with it, circles, gets upended, and the puck comes free. Bigelow stays with it, jams at the side of the net. The puck's still free in there. Now Fauché and Bigelow going after it in the corner. Bigelow comes up with it. Oh, he got railed, and the puck comes free again. And finally, Lake Placid breaks it out to center ice. Here comes Jeremy Colby across the blue line, has it poked away. The puck sits in the slot. And they try to get a shot off, and nobody can. It comes to Fauché. He moves it ahead for Bigelow, and he sweeps it out to center ice, and he wants off. We got a penalty, and another penalty against Lake Placid. So this has kind of gone downhill a little bit.
Yeah, each team are looking for numbers right now. The Raiders, for example, Joey Fauché came back on that last. The Raider defenseman, I'm not sure it was Tommy Post, had his man and tied up, and Joey should have picked up the puck, but he was looking at a number. He wanted to nail that Lake Placid player, and it almost created a scoring opportunity. And both teams they're looking for numbers right now.
Well, the game definitely out of hand here as far as Lake Placid's chance to get back into the game has long ago gone by the boards.
That's right, Jerry. Young Stuart Spots has done a nice job. He's a butterfly type, Jerry. He's goes down, spreads those legs. When you're a shooter, you want to go upstairs on a goaltender like that.
Morris will face it off now for the Massena Red Raiders. Bob Post scoreboard says 5-0 Massena. Jason Jackson with a puck. Massena will go on the power play in 5 seconds. Here comes Cameron breaking in the left wing. He lost his footing. Now he gets back up again, gets tied up by Preston, but he stays with it. Puck in the boards, in the corner. They try to move it. It comes free, and they jam at it, still moving it along the boards. And finally it comes free to Labarge, who's gone in to help out. Goes to Cameron, side of the net. It bounces around, and back around the boards it goes for Jackson. Jackson, that looks like another puck out there. I think it's a piece of tape. And the puck comes to Jackson at the 45, back to Post at the point. Post flips it over on the other side for Morris. Jake circling, back in the corner for Chris Cameron. Chris goes back to Post at the point, back to Cameron. Massena on the power play. Cameron circles, drops for Morris in behind the net. Jake circling around now. Into the face-off circle, back to the point to Labarge. Labarge, Jackson, Morris. Morris right in front, they score. Chris Cameron, what a passing play. Cameron at the side of the net. He got it on the back of his stick blade on a beautiful pass from Morris. All he had to do was direct it in the net.
And again, but you notice how he directed. Cool, calm, and deliberate. He has that knack around that net, something that's instinctive. You really can't teach a youngster like that. It has to come natural. And the Raiders kept, in fact, Placid was doing a good job keeping it to the outside, but the Raiders were tic-tac-toe. Bigelow. Nice passing. And finally it was 1-2-3 to Jake Morris here to the left of Stuart Spots. And out of the far corner, number 20, Chris Cameron, just drifted right out. Jake spotted him, put it right on the ice, and he just redirected the blade, Jerry. Just beautiful.
So Chris Cameron picks up his 6th goal of the year on the power play. Another power play goal for Massena. And the puck goes right in front to Cullen, and he's going to cover it up. That was kind of a pass that went across the crease, and Cullen stopped it and covered it up. So 4:22 remaining. Post scoreboard says 6-0 Massena.
10:29 and a power play goal. Chris Cameron, assist going to Jason Jackson and Jake Morris.
Face off right side, goes back to the point. Here's Preston's shot. Ooh, glove. I think that was wide, but Cullen gloves it anyway and holds on.
Nice form by Dougie, a quick glove, and he's just showing everybody in the building, hey, I can do it also, just test me. And good, quick glove hand, left hand by Dougie Cullen.
He has not been tested very often this afternoon, but that time he was quick. Colby will face off again against Fauché. Right side, Massena zone, off the draw, back to the point. Here's Preston with it. Preston, now he's got Kellison on him. And Kellison sticks it out to center ice, picks up the puck, head man to Fauché. Fauché has it poked away, but Kellison follows. Here comes Freddie in the circle, the shot, fired it wide. And I wouldn't want to have Freddie coming in on me at all, I'll tell you that. Now Collins, in behind for Whitcup to Fauché. Fauché loses to Preston, and Preston circles out. Kellison throws a check on Preston, and right there is Whitcup to pick up the loose puck. He and Preston jam together. Puck comes back to Collins at the point. Collins flips it in behind for Freddie Kellison. Kellison stays with it now. He falls down, gets his stick on it anyway, and flips it ahead for Whitcup. Whitcup's pass is intercepted, and it comes out to center ice. Here comes Lake Placid, Jeremy Colby. Across the blue line, offsides will be the call.
It's kind of humorous. Number 20, Ryan Benty, is he's got to be 10 inches taller than Freddie Kellison. And when he tries to pin him against the boards, he has to bend way over, and he still is not successful at it.
Face-off will be just outside the Massena line. Again, don't forget, second part of our doubleheader later on this afternoon about 5:30. St. Lawrence Central against Canton, championship of the Norwood Norfolk tournament. And a big basketball game here tonight in Massena as well, the championship of the Massena Invitational between the Red Raiders of Sandy Cook and Bill Myrna's OFA Blue Devils. That should be a dandy at the Massena Gymnasium.
Should be an excellent game.
Here's Eddie Davis now, ahead to McCracken. He circles into the zone. He's got Jackson breaking, flips it, and it goes in behind the net. Jason after it there, takes the puck away from the defense, circles high slot backhander, and the save made by Spots. Picked up by Davis behind. Davis in behind the net, looking to move it around, left side of the goalie. Now takes it around to the right side of the goalie. Back to the point it goes. Levac, he winds. His shot goes through a couple of legs into the corner. Davis goes back to the point. Levac to Barkley. Aaron winds up. His shot is just wide. Nice low shot, but it was wide. And Lake Placid looks to ice it, but they got it Caruso, the official. Now Massena crosses the blue line off sides, and we're down to 2:32 remaining. The only question now, Dave, is whether it's going to stay a shutout.
That's right, Jerry. And little things under the little things category. Nice move by number 6, Tim Manning of the Bombers. The shot came from the point, and instead of he felt it was wide, so instead of getting his skate in front of it, he lifted his skate, let the puck go to the corner. A lot of inexperienced hockey players would try to stop it with a skate, and what they'll do 9 times out of 10 is redirect it onto the goaltender. Nice move by Tim Manning.
Off the faceoff, puck slides slowly back in the Massena zone. Tommy Post after it. Under 2.5 to play here in the third period. Massena leads 6-0. Post the headman to Bigelow. Here comes Jeff breaking in, building up the head of steam, goes right by the defense. Oh, big play by the defenseman to break it up at the last second. Ryan Benty somehow got a stick on it. Comes to Morrison behind. He's got Bigelow in front. Shot. He fired it wide. An unselfish player, that Morris. Beautiful pass there. Here's Bigelow in the corner. Now goes for Cameron. Cameron picks up the loose puck behind, right in front to Morris. It goes through a leg. Back to the point. Tommy Post. Post shot deflected. Oh, and the goaltender covers up. As that changed direction off a leg, and goaltender Stuart Spots spotted it at the last minute and covered it up.
That was payback time from Jake Morris to Jeff Bigelow, because Jeff had set him up perfectly on Jake's last goal, and That was just reversed. That time Jake looked and he found Jeff about 8 feet out of front of Stuart Motts on the stick, and he got the shot away. Quick shot, not a lot on it, but Stuart Spots able to make the save. We got 1:54 left in this hockey game.
And we got the Chilton line out there. Chilton with Hewlett and Brown for Massena.
The kid line.
The kid line off the faceoff. Hewlett, the backhander, goes wide in the corner, picked up by Chad Martin. Martin loses it. It comes free, and they jam for it in the corner, Lake Placid, and we have a whistle. I'm not sure. Apparently they're going to call it an offside.
That kid line's been pretty productive in the young season so far. Amassed a total of 4 points. Jerry, that's pretty good for a fourth unit.
Off the faceoff, Levac. Levac, ahead it goes to Brown. Brown leading the attack in, right in front. Chilton too deep, but he centers it. It's knocked down on the defense by Tim Manning. So a couple of good chances for this kid line. Now back down the other way. The puck sits at the blue line, and offsides will be the call as two of the Lake Placid wingers were in the zone before it was poked in. And we'll have a face-off outside Massena territory.
Lovely pass. Nice move by the left wing. Trevor Brown brought it down that left side and pulled the defenseman and found his center, Jason Chilton, right in the slot. Nice play.
Levac off the face-off, flips it ahead. Brown trying to get it to Chilton a little bit too far. Picked up by Manning. Now Brown after it again, and Chilton along the boards. Chilton trying to come away with the puck. Finally he does, and he dumps it in the Lake Placid zone. Hewlett racing in there. And the puck gets by him, and so does the Lake Placid player, but not out of the zone. Here's Brown. His shot deflected. Oh, they score right in front, deflected by Hewlett. No, wait a minute.
Yes, it was. Jeff Hewlett did the deflection, but I'll tell you, Jason Chilton made the play with a tremendous check on the far side over here just preceding that. He flattened the Lake Placid defenseman and caused him to cough up the puck, and it came back to the point, and the Raider defenseman drifted it in, and Mike Hewlett, standing in front, just tipped it with the blade. He had his back to goalie Stuart Motts, and he just redirected it. A beautiful deflection by Mike Hewlett, but also a great check by number 16, Jason Chilton.
So the kid line comes up with another goal. Here comes Whitcup breaking across the line. Whitcup in behind the net now. Circles. Gets tied up. The defenseman, Brad Preston, has him around the shoulders, and Preston takes it away to center ice, but Whitcup takes it back again. Flips it ahead. Here comes Tommy Moore inside the zone. Bouncing puck, dumped out to center ice. Jason Labarge, and we're under a minute to play here, as Labarge is going to take it in the zone. Offsides. No, we're going to have a penalty. A hooking call, and Tommy Moore is going to get the gate, apparently.
I'll tell you, the pair of sevens out there for the Raiders, Joey Fauché, and for the Bombers, Brad Preston, were doing a lot of stick work, and young Mr. Preston is pretty tough with that stick. He's a little frustrated right now, and just a little while ago he almost took one of the Raiders' heads off with a high stick. But he's not going to get the gate. They got somebody else.
That's going to be Tommy Moore going off.
That goal, they're credited to Trevor Brown. I thought it was Mike Hewlett. But
it was Hewlett. But, well, we're not going to argue with him, I guess.
Okay, no question it was Mike Hewlett standing in front, but that's what the PA man said, but I'm sure that'll be changed later.
Off the faceoff, right in front, Fauché shot, and he fired it wide. He gets it again, trying to backhand it. Short-handed attempt by Massena. We have a whistle, and we're going to have a holding on somebody. And Joey Fauché had a beautiful opportunity, and he fired it wide.
A beautiful opportunity is putting it mildly, Jerry. He had Joey's going off. He's shaking his head, but they'll come, Joey. Don't worry. He had the goalie out high, put the fake on him. He had the whole net. He had between he and Stuart, the net and Stuart spots, probably 5 or 6 feet, and all he had to do was pick at any spot, and he backhanded it wide.
Well, Beligeron picks up, that's his third penalty of the game, I believe.
Just want to get this one over with because it's getting a little chippy out here at the end.
13 seconds left. Massena leading 7-0 on the Bob Post scoreboard. Fauché stays out there. He'll face off against Strack. Off the draw. Puck bounces back to the blue line. Here's Post with an opportunity. Shoot, score! But the whistle had blown before. And what do they call, a man in the crease?
I think so, yeah. Referee Tom Caruso immediately signaled outside, no goal. He's coming over here to the scorer's table to announce it.
Man in the crease,
Man in the crease, and Tommy Post, Raiders won the draw back to the point, and Tommy worked his way towards the center, and he rifled a low one through traffic, and it beat Stewart's spots, but to no avail.
Here's Tommy again with the puck. He flips it across the blue line. We're down to 5 seconds. He throws the check. We have a whistle. And going to call a charge on Post.
Well, I'll tell you, he is, Joey Fauché has seemed to be the center of this mixing the last 4 or 5 minutes. He's really feisty out there today, I'm sure there's a little bit of frustration. I saw him shake his head when he missed that wide open net. They haven't been coming too easy for him. I'm looking down here. I think he's 1-1, a goal and assist up to this point prior to today. But I know as the season progresses, and I know he's saying, yeah, but how long is it going to progress before I start finding the back of that twine? So he does a lot of things outside of scoring goals. He's a leader out there. Kills penalties, as you mentioned, Jerry, and he's a
off the face-off. That'll take care of it right there. So Massena wins a shutout victory, a 7-0 win over Lake Placid, and really there wasn't much of a doubt in the game. After the first few minutes, even though Massena hadn't scored, after they got the first goal, the first goal ended up being the winning goal.
Yes, and as you said, Jerry, there wasn't, when you're coming in with a young club like the Bombers and you're a Division III, you're playing a Division I team in their home rink, and Massena, good fine hockey club. There's no question that the Bombers were undermanned. They only had 14 skaters here today. You cannot match go 2 lines against a team that's going 3 and 3 good lines, and then they added to their downfall somewhat by taking, which I felt, some real foolish penalties late in that second period and here in the third penalty period. It was 1-0 for going late into that second period. Well, not really late in the second period. I guess it was the 3:20. We look back. No, 9:15 mark of the second period when they got that second goal, Jerry. Mm-hmm. So it was late. But you can't take those foolish penalties. They came back to haunt them, but they were outmatched today.
No doubt about it. So the Massena Red Raiders go to a 7-0 victory here over Lake Placid.